Nipolac Kids Paint. Environmentally friendly and safe for kids. Color their world with Nipolac Kids Paint.
Hello, and it's a warm welcome to Around the Wickets on ThePapare.com, and I can tell you that it's lovely to be back with you, and we are bringing you truly hot news. And well, as you know, the cricket scene in Sri Lanka, it's hot, it's spiced up. I want to ask you a question. Do you remember the Asia Cup? Is it happening after all? Do you know who's winning it? I don't think any one of you are interested in that. You know why? Because we have so much of news for you, and that's exactly what we're going to talk to you about. And one of the newsmakers, Angelo Mathews, is a hot topic that we are planning to discuss. I've got Farveez Maharoof, I should say, joining me to talk about it. Maha, first and foremost, I know it's a tough question, and you got to answer from your head, not from your heart. What is your opinion about the axing of Angelo Mathews? Do you think it was handled well, or what are your conclusions?
I thought it could have been a little better. I mean, to be honest, the treatment what Angelo got, even from the general public after losing it, trying to put the blame just on him, which was very unfortunate, as well as how it went with the SLC and with the press conference and certain things which was said in the press conference. I don't agree with it. I don't think a professional player should be treated in that way. And being a former player, former captain who has helped when there was no one to captain, he came in, he captain, and his record speak to itself. So I think overall, the way it handled it could have been better. But saying that, I mean, selectors the coach has made a strong statement there, and hopefully this is a benchmark they're going to keep. But this puts the other players under pressure as well, and they know there's a certain the fitness regime, fitness levels has to be maintained. So this is a strong message to the other players as well. Maybe they're under pressure, or this is maybe a good thing as well. I mean, trying to be more fitter. I mean, this will only work well, hopefully. But overall, answering your question, I thought it could have been handled much better.
Yeah, one thing about this Angelo Mathews sacking, one thing that doesn't really fit the equation to me is that Mathews had already relinquished the captaincy. He had left the captaincy when the Zimbabwe series was over. He clearly said he's not interested. But then he's been brought back. He's been given the captaincy, possibly saying captain up to the World Cup. Now, 9 months to go. Now, I think Dinesh Chandimal, no one has any issue about him being captain. He's one of the mainstays, and I felt that not having him in the middle order in the Asia Cup was a huge hit for Sri Lanka. We're not going to even focus on that because it's not fair to compare Chandimal as captain and Mathews as captain. But what we must try and understand is the timing right? 9 months to go. The side is not settled. And interestingly, I wonder whether you read this. Graham Swan has said that this is the best time to beat Sri Lanka.
I mean, I totally agree with Graham because we have so much accusations, allegations going on. I thought, answering your question, the right time to change the captaincy? I don't think so. And just 9 months away, just how many, about 20 odd 1 days or less than that, for Chandi to gather around the team, get the individuals right. I mean, it's a huge call. It's a huge call, and it's a huge call dropping Angelo as well. So overall, Chandi will be unlucky to not to have Angelo in the middle order because he records speed himself in the last couple of years, the highest run getter, and it's a more mainstay. So overall, not a good state, but there are new players coming in, so that's their opportunity to show what they got. Because the players are still up for grabs. I don't think maybe 1 or 2 or maybe 3 players will be already in that flight to the World Cup. But apart from that, I think everything is open.
Yep, I couldn't have agreed more with you because there is no doubt that the Sri Lanka team is far from settled, and they're about to get into a very long and a full series against England. They're going to play 5 test matches, 1 T20, 5 one-days, 1 T20 and 3 test matches. So it's a big series. Sri Lanka will have to put their hands up, and let's try and just focus on that. Now, Sri Lanka has just announced their ODI squad. What are your thoughts about the ODI squad? Because if you look at the batsmen, for example, I think most of them select themselves. Like Taranga, Dikwella, like to see Sadira Samaravikram in that side. I've always found him to be very exciting and someone who is definitely the future of Sri Lanka. Kusal Pereira, Chandimal captain, Dhananjay Silva. Now those are the batsmen, 2 all-rounders, 3 spinners and 4 fast bowlers, which has Nuwan Pradeep and Lasith Malinga as well. What are your thoughts, and how do you see the fact that Kusal Mendes is not there, and then Mathews obviously not there?
Kusal Mendes, I think, understandably, has given I'll probably say a rest. I mean, just take him away from the game. And looking at the batting order, there are only 6 batsmen. For me, I always kept saying that we need to play 6 proper batsmen. So we have only 6, and out of 6, there are 4 openers in there. So it's going to be interesting to see who is going to pair up with Pul Taranga to open the batting there. That's number 1. But the rest of it, Dasun Sanaka, ThePapare, they pick themselves. Akila Dhananjay, Sandakan and Aponso. Sandakan making a comeback, because I thought in Dubai, Dilwan obviously didn't have a good tour, so being replaced, I mean, obvious choice would be Sandakan. Nishan Pires would have been close, but still.
No, but I think he's too young.
Too young, maybe maybe not the time, but still, for me, he should be in the plans, because I've seen him bowl, and very impressive young boy. And when it comes to fast bowlers, I'm surprised not to see Surang Lakmal, to be honest. I mean, if you look at the South African series, he did have a decent series.
Absolutely.
And in a game against in Palakele when we won, he bowled well. So I thought it's a tough call on him. He's played 1 game in Dubai as well. So tough call on him. Nuwan Pradeep making comeback after a while. And the rest of the 3 fast bowlers pick themselves again. And overall, batting the number 5's position, which Angelo been dominating for years. I'm just wanting to see who's going to fill that boots.
Now, I want to ask a question here. I want to just direct a question here. I'm not going to talk too much about the standbys, but there was always this talk about Dimuth Karunaratne in the one-day side. Now, he's a standby again. Do you think that's a fair call?
Dimuth, for me, he's a batsman that I like to have in the squad, because we have been struggling to bat 50 overs. So Dimuth in the team, I know it's pretty hard with the opening companies what we have, but
he's another opening batsman.
So it'll be hard for him to come back. But as I said, who's going to bat at number 5? I mean, I just can't pick who's going to bat. Maybe Chandi will bat at number 5. Maybe it's a possibility. But Dimuth for me is there and thereabout. He's knocking on the door. He has done all the right things, scoring runs. Even in the MCA tournament, he's been scoring runs and scoring responsible runs, which is batting for a long time. So Dimuth, on and off, I think he should be there in my liking, but he's not that far.
Right, let's now quickly focus to the test squad. Now, this is very, very interesting. You know why I say that? Mathews was dropped on the strength of not being fit. Now, I want to ask you something that doesn't really fit here. A lot of people are asking the question, a very fair, logical question. Now, Mathews has been left out, obviously, on fitness grounds. Now, you're an ex-player. You get exposed to the best fitness advice. Now, how could he qualify to be in the test side? Now, tell me, is there a fitness level that you would look at in the one-day game and the test match? Or is it the same? Or just try and clear this confusion for us?
As far as I'm concerned, being ex-player, being there, it's there no difference in test cricket fitness and one-day cricket fitness, unless if you're a fast bowler, you need to be bowl more overs. For a batsman, it's the same. It's a surprise for me as well. I mean, if you can't play one-days, if you can't play test matches, it's a surprise call for me. But maybe the selectors and the coaching staff will have a proper, what do you call it, this training regime which Ranji has to go through. Maybe that's the case. I mean, because for the test matches, there's about a month away, a month and a half away. So for that, he may have to go through the fitness schedules, what the physios and the trainers going to come up. But overall, I'm surprised whether he's not in the one-day squad, he's in the test squad. I mean, when it comes to fitness level, it's almost the same for a batsman. There's no...
It's endurance.
It's endurance, and plus Angie is not going to bowl. And for me, still I like to ask a question from the selectors and get the answers from them.
No, absolutely, because that's a question that has been asked around a lot, even in social media. They've been asking, how come you're not here, but you're there? But then, well, I'm sure the selectors may have, and the people who matter may have a very logical answer. I think we need to give them the benefit of the doubt. We're just expressing our views. Now, looking at the test side, it's quite straightforward. If you look at the batsman, Karunaratne, Kaushal Silva is back. I'm going to talk about that. Dhananjay, Kusal Mendes, Mathews, Chandimal, Roshan Silva, Dikwella. Well, they select themselves. 5 spinners, Dilwan Pereira, Akila Dhananjay, Rangan Herath, Malinda Pushpakumara, he's back as well. The story is that this will be the final series of Rangan Herath. I don't know whether it will be one test match and done, or whether he will play all 3 games. We'll have to wait and see. Lakshan Sandakan, Suranga Lakmal, Kasun Rajitha, Lahiru Kumara. Now, I want to talk about 2 players here. First is Kaushal Silva. I feel it's very unfair for him because you drop him, you bring him back, you don't make him feel that you're a permanent player. So you always, under some kind of pressure. So that's player number one. And then I'm looking at the standbys and I see the name of Lairu Tirimana. And especially after his performance in Bangladesh A on the A tours, good start to the Mercantile, and considering that Sri Lanka batting struggling a little bit. So I just want to get your views on the inclusion of Kaushal Silva and possibly the non-inclusion of Lairu Tirimana. How do you see that?
Kaushal straight away fits into Dhanush Gunathila's boots.
So it's a straight swap.
It's a straight swap. He's going to open the batting for sure. And looking at the 8 batsmen, it's good to have 8 batsmen because I'm pretty sure we'll either play 7 batters or 6 batters. So we have an option of leaving a batsman who's putting pressure on the players who are going to play. But when it comes to Tirimana, when I feel he's unlucky here. I mean, he scored enough runs in Bangladesh, 2 centuries in the Mercantile. He's been scoring heavily. He's been, whatever he's been asked to do, he's doing it very well. So, a matter of time, him also getting a chance because previous tours he was not in even the standby. For now, he has got into the standby list. So, it's a matter of time because we are going to get some tough test series coming up: New Zealand, South Africa, Australia. So, I'm pretty sure Tirimana will or might get a break, and he just have to grab it. And talking about the others, I think it's pretty straightforward. I mean, good to see Mahesh Bhushmar back in because it's an option. We don't know how many matches Ranga is going to play. He's going to play 3 or 2, or we need to know. But it's good to have Mahesh Bhushmar back and being in the recognition. And the 3 quicks, they pick themselves. So overall, very strong side, stronger than the one-day team for me.
Yeah, but do you see now 3 fast bowlers? Do you see 2 players, 2 fast bowlers or 1 fast bowler and say 4 spinners?
I mean, if you ask me, I won't play as the wickets as we played in South Africa, which was ridiculous, playing 3 spinners as a fast bowler. I always think that we need to play 2 fast bowlers, 2 spinners and 7 batters, or else 3 spinners, 6 batters. Definitely 2 fast bowlers. What if one fast bowler breaks down? If you're playing one fast bowler, it's a big risk we are going to ask.
Dimuth opens the bowling.
That happens against India at SSC, I remember, and we struggle. So personally, I don't like to see that happening because we are going to play in good tracks in future. So I think, I'm just my view is just as good as you are. So I think for me, 2 quicks, 2 spinners and 7 batters, or 2 quicks, 3 spinners and 6 batsmen.
Your view is important. That's why you're seated there. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. No, I fully agree with what you say. Right. Let's now focus a little bit more towards the Under-19 Asia Cup. As you know, the Under-19 Asia Cup is happening from the 29th of September. It goes on till the 7th of October. Group A, India, Afghanistan. They're the defending champions. UAE, Nepal. Group B, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Hong Kong. Now, the question that I would like to ask is, I saw a high-powered team, Upul Chandana, Hasham Tilakaratne, Chamin Dawaz, all of them going with the Under-19 team. But, Maha, what is your opinion? Is Sri Lanka good enough? Because unfortunately, with all the school cricket, and school cricket being good competition, and with all the support, squads, blah, 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 whatever you want to call it, Under-19 has been a disappointment.
Yeah.
Do you see anything different this time?
I think one of the previous shows we spoke about our Under-19 boys not playing well in the 4 days. But I expect them to do well in 1 day. So obviously it's 1 day. But I mean, as you said, when it comes to infrastructure, it's not the greatest when it comes to the competition, the competitiveness.
But don't you think school cricket is good because it's solid, they compete, it's a decent level.
Indeed, I mean, if you ask me, that's the best school cricket structure in the world would be Sri Lanka.
Exactly.
But do we produce enough cricketers from college level, which I have a bigger doubt. So that's why I'm saying it has to be more competitive coming out of it. But saying that, we are in a tough group. Pakistan, Bangladesh always had, from my time, from under 15, 17, 19, they've always had tough teams.
And
so
by the way, what happened when you captain under 19? Where did we end up? You played in New Zealand, right?
I played 2 World Cups, one in New Zealand, one in Bangladesh. New Zealand we went out in the second round, and when I captained in 2004, we lost in the quarterfinals to India. And under 17 Asia Cup in Colombo, we were the runners-up. India were the champions when I captained.
Right, that's good. So those are somewhat glory days.
I mean, absolutely. Those days I had a good team. I mean, Kaushal Silva to Pul Taranga, Suraj Randeep, all these players. I mean, at the moment, do we have a good team? I believe so, because I've seen some practice sessions of them. I mean, they are good players. But how they can get the maximum of the players. That's where the management, or the team management, which is very highly experienced, that's their job will come in, because under-19 boys just have to go and express themselves rather than putting too much pressure on them.
Right, it's time now to move away from international cricket and maybe get to some domestic school cricket and what's happening in the domestic scene. Incidentally, St. Joseph's College, well, they're doing brilliantly. They won the Under-17 Division 1 final. They beat St. Sebastian's. Congratulations to the Josephians. And also, we have the Red Bull Campus Cricket World Finals. I can tell you that the university teams from Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, Zimbabwe and UAE are taking part in this tournament. Now, have you been watching it? How important is it? How good is the standard?
I think standard is quite decent. There are a few games which happened at NCC, which I managed to get glimpses of. It's a decent stand. I think it's an ideal stepping stone for the Sri Lanka. I mean, if I talk about Sri Lankan guys, to make a name for themselves, like Janit Wickremage. Janit Lienage.
He's got a hat-trick.
He got a hat-trick and took 7 wickets. So those are little names which come up. I mean, it's a good, decent player.
Yeah,
so this is a stepping stone for them to come to the provincial contracts, or that's where they can make it up. So
right.
This is very important for the Sri Lankan players, and if they can win it, so they're playing Pakistan to win a playoff. So hopefully they can win it and meet India in the finals.
Yeah, the thing is, India is just becoming such a menace in the world stage. They're in the finals again. Would you believe it? India is there. Well, Sri Lanka, Pakistan in the playoff. They're playing it on Friday, final on Saturday. Now, we are exciting you. If you want to watch this, you can catch the live action. It's live and exclusive on ThePapare.com, or just come along to the SSC. Friday is the semi-final or the playoff, and the final is on Saturday. Right, it's time now to almost end, and it's time to ask you the question of the week. Would you believe this question? A name that's making so much of headlines. We're asking you a question. Against which country did Angelo Mathews make his captaincy debut? Not his international debut, his captaincy debut. Now, last week's question, we asked you, who is the new throwdown specialist hired by the Indian cricket team? Well, the answer, Nuwan Seneviratne. He previously worked with Sri Lanka cricket team for several years, and these guys used to love him. They used to adore him, and they used to just get him to throw and throw and throw. The Indians have now picked him. So last week winner, Nalinda Wijesekara from Colombo. Congratulations to you, Nalinda. Very well done. I didn't think that this was an easy answer. You got to do a lot of research. You got to have been a real cricket fan to find out this name, Nuwan Seneviratne. But this week's question, far easier. Against which country did Angelo Mathews make his captaincy debut? So that's a story on Around the Wickets on ThePapare.com. We hope you enjoyed it. Yes, it was spiced. Yes, we discussed a lot of things. We certainly hope that the England tour will turn things around for Sri Lanka. We'll see you again very soon.
Nippon Paint Easy Wash, the #1 premium washable paint, is water resistant and protects walls from dirt, moisture and mold. Nippon Paint Easy Wash, the ideal paint for your home.